Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene across the state of Oklahoma with all the latest sports information. I'm Chris Link, along with Gil Cloud, the Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Director and Hall of Famer. Coach, busy show, and it all starts with a very special tribute.
Tell you what, we got some really great guests today, but a tribute to Boone Pickens. What an inspiration he was to the vision at Oklahoma State to get to the next level, which they needed, and got out of the rust bucket, which was Lewis Field, and into where they are now. Always
being indebted to T. Boone Pickens. His legacy will live on for sure. University of Tulsa was the last of the Big Four area teams here to have their home opener. Michael Knight was there for Oklahoma Sportscene to chronicle that. Tulsa drilled a season wrap-up, and Coach, it was a painful one. In the end, they had a chance at the championship. They were just 3 outs away.
You know, you get to the ninth inning, and you have your best reliever in the game.
Yeah.
You think you're going to have a celebration, and 7 runs later, it's all over 8-3, and they lose at home. And that's really not fitting for what Scott Hennessy did with this club, to bring them along the way he did, to play Arkansas, which they were 6-22 in the regular season, and eliminate them from the playoffs, and then yet Amarillo came and played well.
They did, and won the championship series. That's 2 years in a row. Tulsa's been in the final zone. Scott Hennessy will be with us on Oklahoma Sports to talk about it, wrap the season, talk about the Dodgers, and perhaps the World Series for them as well. Tulsa drilled the season wrap up, and then you got a very special guest coming to talk brand new football stadium for Union High School, really.
Well, Kurt Hartzler is the superintendent of schools, Dr. Kurt Hartzler, and I was fortunate enough to be able to hire he and his wife Susan back in the 80s to be assistant basketball coach and a tennis coach and a cheerleading sponsor and so on and so forth. And Kurt has done a fabulous job as the superintendent. And the new facility, the West Grandstand, is going to be, I think, the state of the art in Oklahoma for high school athletic facilities because number one, they're going to spend about $22 million on it. Ooh. But number two, it will really start, I think, another cascade of building facilities in the state of Oklahoma.
All right, head of our production team, Thomas Walkendick's good friend Edwin Evers, absolute tremendous pro bass fisherman. In fact, a multi-millionaire pro bass fisherman. Has some good tips for you anglers coming up. And we'll also have our Remington Report, of course, as well. But, Coach, let's wrap up this past weekend in college football. It's got to L.A., UCLA, Oklahoma. From the start, it was no contest.
Well, when Jalen takes off down the sideline and has 99 yards in the first half, you're thinking, my goodness, how much can he get? He certainly has, I think, put himself in a position where he's got to be recognized nationally in the Heisman Trophy race. And wouldn't that be so ironic? 3 years in a row if that would happen.
Unbelievable.
And I tell you, I think, I really believe they're going to be undefeated by the time they hit the Texas game and be in stride, and Texas could have 2 or 3 losses by that time.
And the stats on Jalen Hurts are unbelievable. He had 3 touchdown passes, 1 rushing. He accounted for 439 total yards of Sooner offense. By the way, that was OU's 21st consecutive true road wins, Coach, matching Alabama, and second only to, a 25-game true road win streak from Bud Wilkinson.
Wilkinson, and I think that they'll get past that.
I think so, too.
I don't think there's any question.
Open date for the Sooners this week on the 21st. They finished a non-conference 3-0. Get ready for Texas Tech to come in the following week. Oklahoma State 40, Tulsa 21. And again, it was much closer for a long time.
Well, 21-20 at the half.
Yeah.
And then, as I felt like you could see the tide turn a little bit, there were a couple of big plays that Oklahoma State had. And, when you're in a game like that, you can stay close. You can't make any mistakes. You can't have any fumbles. You can't have any penalties. And when those things happen, then it just cascades. But Oklahoma State really played well the second half, and to shut Tulsa out, I thought was a great effort.
Tulsa had a record 17 penalties among the mistakes there, but as Coach Montgomery said afterwards, I think we have a dang good football team. Get to prove it against Wyoming this coming Saturday. They will host Wyoming, and meanwhile, Oklahoma State goes prime time down to Austin, take on Texas. They had great success, Coach.
5 in a row in Austin, and I think that Gundy will have them ready to play. I think they will be. I really like their quarterback. Spencer Sanders is a player, and he's a physical specimen. I watched this weekend, and had the commentator saying you know, I don't know if he can take that kind of punishment all year long because he takes a pretty good shot when he gets, but he's a big young man, and I think he can play. I think he'll be a difference maker in that game.
Razorbacks finally found a quarterback to make a difference. The Texas A&M transfer finally got a start. Nick Starkel, he did a nice job, 305 yards, 3 touchdowns. Arkansas beat up on Colorado State, 55-34. The Hogs at 2-1 host San Jose State this weekend. NFL, the Cowboys, the Chiefs win big and impressively. And Kyler Murray had 25 of 40, 349 yards, and a good effort. They lost at Baltimore 23-17, and Baker Mayfield's playing on Monday night. We'll get that score for you.
He'll play Monday night, and boy, we should certainly hope for Baker. He plays better than he did last week.
Tough going for the young quarterback. Tulsa Drillers, eventually we have Scott Hennessy, the outstanding manager of the Tulsa Drillers. He'll be with us coming up to talk about the season and wrap it up. We only say they lost to the Amarillo Sod Poodles. How embarrassing is that to lose to Sod Poodles?
I wouldn't tell anybody I did that.
8-3 after leading the game 3-1 going to the ninth inning. We'll have all the details for you and wrap that season up. And the Tulsa Roughnecks. They have August home matches coming up. September home matches coming up. The 21st against Orange County. The 25th against San Antonio. They stand 6-13-9 and 27 points on the season. Next, a tribute to a great cowboy, T. Boone Pickens.
The service is amazing.
Food's delicious.
I love the avocado fries.
I love the energy.
Local beer, great food, truly friendly service.
Look all right for you?
Bricktown Brewery, come and get it.
Whether it's a wedding, birthday, family reunion, or company event, give your next big event a unique country feel at our Red Barn Event Center located just north of Tulsa. We feature plenty of party room inside and out for up to 350 guests, a huge open floor space, and even a big stage. The Red Barn features a full kitchen, separate bride and groom dressing areas. Outside weddings are beautiful under our 100-year-old pecan tree. For your next big event, with a do-it-yourself wedding, the Red Barn Event Center is the perfect choice. Booking now for future events.
Hey Mo, have you seen the MDX? I'm pretty sure it was in the showroom when I left yesterday.
No, sorry, Jen. I haven't seen it.
Are you positive you haven't seen it?
Hey Mo, I went ahead and pulled the MDX back up on the showroom for it. Oh, hey Jen.
Haven't seen it, huh?
Think you need to leave the city to have fun at a casino? Well, think faster. Because wherever you are in OKC, you can get to Remington Park fast. So you'll be here faster and winning faster on all the latest and greatest games. Don't miss the $400,000 Oklahoma Derby on Sunday, September 29th at 3 p.m. with our wine tasting festival at 2 and the hat and bow tie contest till 4 p.m. Get your heart racing fast in the heart of the city at Remington Park, the fastest action in town.
At Robertson Tire, we'll match any deal you find on tires, but customer service remains at the core of our business. That's why we've been voted the very best in all 3 major area publications. Thank you for choosing Robertson Tire for all your auto care needs.
The greatest cowboy of them all has taken his last ride. Those are the words of Oklahoma State University Athletic Director Mike Holden about the death of T. Boone Pickens, the great benefactor of OSU at the age of 91, the 1951 OSU graduate.
You know, Chris, I can't think of anyone in America other than maybe Phil Knight at Oregon that had as much impact on the university as T. Boone Pickens had on OSU.
Here is our tribute to the great T. Boone Pickens.
Yeah, you can't quantify the magnitude of the loss. It's really incomprehensible. So I guess in a few days we'll reconcile the fact that he's gone. I still hadn't gotten there yet. I keep thinking he's going to call me up or come see me. We used to talk every day until he had these health setbacks. But yeah, we'll miss him, and we'll miss a whole lot more than just his philanthropy. The example he set, the way he promoted our university, and the hope and the energy he gave all of our constituency from our fan base on throughout the whole campus. So yeah, we'll miss him. And he knew how to have a good time. You know, when you were with him, there never was a dull moment, and there were always a lot of funny stories. He had a great sense of humor, and he was always the life of the party. And there never was a lull in the conversation when you had Boone Pickens there, and there was usually a lesson to be learned for what he had to say, the stories he told, especially when it got down to his mother and his grandmother and his aunt. That was serious times when he started talking about them.
Well, we own a championship. That's all he wanted. So let's get with it, Mike.
Yeah, why not this year? It'd be a fitting tribute to him and, add to that legacy. So I'm with you. Let's win them all this year. We got a good start.
Sad day, but a glorious life, for crying out loud. We should all hope for that kind of at-bat. 91 years and all of it wild and adventurous. So an incredible life and of course impacted Oklahoma State University as much as anyone ever has in a positive manner. And you look at where Oklahoma State is today with facilities, particularly football, and it's literally impossible for them to have been where they are without Boone. On the other hand, OSU did a lot for Boone. Really energized him in that last quarter of his life, gave him a community that he really rallied behind, and really enjoyed getting back integrated in the campus from which he graduated, more than half a century ago.
Boone Pickens' generosity to Oklahoma State amounted to a lifetime giving total of about $530 million to the university. Over half of that was committed to football. And if you look at what Oklahoma State football has done in the last, let's just say 11 years, since the stadium was redone, Oklahoma State football has been in the top 15 in the country 10 of the last 11 years. If you had told Oklahoma State fans 20, 25 years ago that would be the case, that in an 11-year span they would be in the top 15 in the country 10 times, nobody would have believed it. Nobody. So what Boone did was elevate standards, is what he did in regard to facilities, expectations, winning, all of it. So obviously Mike Gundy is chiefly responsible for what's going on with Oklahoma State football. Mike Holder gets tons of credit because if not for Mike Holder's friendship with Boone Pickens that began in 1973, then ultimately Boone doesn't get involved at the level that he did with the $20 million donation in 2003, with the monumental $165 million donation in 2006 that led to the more aggressive plan on the stadium. I think the renovation on the stadium initially was fairly modest until Boone presented OSU that big gift, that historic gift, and at that point, that's when OSU adjusted its plan and decided to bowl in the stadium. But Boone Pickens he just enhanced the OSU brand far beyond what it was before, and his donations, the evidence of his support can be seen all over that campus. But obviously, if you compare what Oklahoma State had from a stadium standpoint before Boone and after Boone got involved, night and day. And to call that stadium project a renovation doesn't do it justice. Essentially, Oklahoma State built a new stadium on top of an old eyesore of a stadium, and that happens because of Boone Pickens' generosity.
Well, it's an extraordinary story and an extraordinary man, and it's a case of a guy who clearly lived for a lot of things, including a university, and for that university to excel. And we all believe in your alma mater and support it, but we all don't have the resources that Boone had to literally invest and pour his hard work and his legacy into OSU like he did. So it really was a phenomenal situation. I think Phil Knight in Oregon might be the only other connection between businessman and university that even approaches what Boone's connection to OSU.
Well, I put out stuff on social media. We could talk all day about what he's done, and it's sad. Mr. Pickens and I went head-to-head a lot. He won most all of them. But I had a lot of respect for him, and I think he respected me. And between Mr. Pickens and President Hargis, Coach Holder, and myself, we won a hell of a lot of football games and been successful. And so I've said this, I said this to Bill 2 weeks ago. He's been his own boss for 70 years, and I've been mine for 15, and so sometimes you have confrontation, but I have a ton of respect, and it's kind of sad, it's sad knowing that he's not there, It really is, and it feels weird. So we're going to have a couple really nice tributes to him, and then I'm sure we'll have some stuff at Karsten Creek and on campus for him to remember his legacy forever.
I think it was significant, Gil, that T. Boone always made it clear when he wrote those big checks. I'm asking two things. One, always play within the rules, and two, have fun.
Have fun. And, of course, I think the other check that he wrote was really interesting, the $30 check for Gundy's haircut.
I like that, too. That's right. Got a lot of play on social media for sure. T. Boone Pickens, always be remembered, of course, what a legacy he's left at Oklahoma State University. We come back, we're going to talk TU, their home opener, and take a look at their home opener with Oklahoma State.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Each week we talk about the GTR, and we know for a fact that Forrest Cameron and his wife Sharon put out a tremendous paper. Well, I brought all 6 of them today. I'd like for you to see them. The Union Boundary, and here is the Owasso Rambler. And if you live in Bixby, how about the Bixby Breeze or Broken Arrow, the Broken Arrow Express, Jinx, District Gazette, and then of course the Tulsa Midtown. All of those, the GTR. If you haven't had an opportunity to read one, do it, and you'll be proud of it.
Hey, Mo, have you seen the MDX? I'm pretty sure it was in the showroom when I left yesterday.
No, sorry, Jen. I haven't seen it.
Are you positive you haven't seen it?
Hey, Mo, I went ahead and pulled the MDX back up on the showroom for it. Oh, hey, Jen.
Haven't seen it, huh?
TU fans, football season is here, and the Golden Hurricane has one of the best home schedules in school history. Season tickets are on sale now, or purchase our 3-game mini plan. The plan includes in-state rival Oklahoma State, along with Navy on Military Appreciation Game, and 2-time defending league champion UCF, all for only $90. To get your tickets, call 918-631-GO-TU or visit TulsaHurricane.com/tickets.
What a great football Saturday. OSU and Tulsa. Tulsa's 120th season. Boy, I tell you what, it was a game for a half. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I tell you, part of the Golden Hurricane, they took that big fist punch right at the start of the game. Chuba Hubbard goes 75 yards on the first play for the Cowboys. They're up 17-0. Been really easy for that team to fold it up, but they fought back in the second quarter, actually led the game at halftime. We got all the color, all the excitement, thanks to Michael Knight. He was down on that field, by the way, the field temperature, 124 degrees. Here's Michael's cool feature for you.
Okay, that was a really, really good job by our defensive coaches, making an adjustment at halftime, and then our players taking the information from the locker room to the field to shut them down. And obviously we rushed the ball very well. They got after us pretty good in the second quarter, got us tired and ran the ball down our throat. We made the adjustments at halftime, came out and made plays, which was awesome by our defense and mainly our coaches for their adjustments. And then we were able to make some big plays. They were kind of in an all or nothing defense, basically, to a certain extent, playing a lot of press man, and so you're going to have some good plays, really good plays, and then some not so good plays. So we were able to get the ball thrown down the field a few times and make some plays and grab some, 17. They had 17 penalties, so some holdings and all that on 2. So it's a good win for us. Got to get a lot better in a lot of different areas. I'm going to look into the unsportsmanlike penalties. We're getting conflict of interest. Our guys are saying one thing, they're saying another, being the referees. So I'm assuming the referees are right, but we'll find out what happened on those. Make sure we get those cleared up.
Great effort by the Golden Hurricane, and again, Oklahoma State remains undefeated as they head to Texas this weekend, Coach. And I see the Cowboys are like a 6-7 point underdog. I'm saying, why? They've owned Texas. They've beaten the last, 5-6 years there in Austin.
They beat them in 5 in a row in Austin, and you know how I feel about Texas, overrated. So we're going to see what happens. I think OSU has evolved. Right. I think offensively, I'm still concerned about their defense because I'm not sure. TU had a very young offensive line, and for them to move the football the way they did in the first half is a little concerning. And Ellinger is a good enough athlete; he can cause you some problems on the defensive side of the football.
And TU, meanwhile, welcomes another group of Cowboys. The Wyoming Cowboys come in for a Saturday kickoff, again at Chapman Stadium, as TU kicks off with them at a 2:30 game. Get out to support the University of Tulsa. And don't forget, they also have their Hall of Fame induction ceremonies coming up on the 21st. Right back with the Drillers manager, Scott Hennessy. Talk about baseball right after this.
Winston, tie or bow tie? Good choice.
Sammy, they're here.
Good morning, welcome to Don.
Come on, you guys. What did you think they were here for?
Well?
It's the Honda Summer Spectacular Sales Event going on now at Don Carlton Honda.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
The Eschbach 6E Ranch on 800 acres north of Tulsa invites you to know the benefits of miniature Herefords. The 6E has always been committed to providing the finest quality meats. Our hormone-free beef is always on grass, then grain-fed the last 90 days to that perfect mix of marbling and taste. We will deliver the animal to a USDA-inspected facility. All you have to do is pick up your vacuum-packed processed meat. Fill your freezer with the finest quality beef at the best price. We also specialize in registered miniature Herefords for breeding and show. Call the 6E Ranch today.
We're back on Oklahoma Sportscene with the manager of the Tulsa Donuts, Scott Hennessy. Had a great season and a tough ending, Coach. I tell you, Game 5 championship game of the Texas League against Amarillo on Sunday here in Tulsa. And thought we had it wrapped up going to the 8th inning. 3-0 lead, and then things fell apart in the last couple innings.
Yeah, we got good starting pitching, good relief pitching, and had the guy in we wanted. Nolan Long brought him in the 9th inning, and just picked a bad day not to have it. But Nolan's been great all year. He got better. We've developed him, and he just didn't have it yesterday. You know, the 8 straight balls. Tried to steal an out on the sacrifice bunt,
wow.
And then that got by him, and it just snowballed from there. But great year. Guys battled. They feel terrible, but it's baseball.
Yeah.
How many of them will go on to and play another season after this now?
You talking about in the big leagues?
No, I mean, the other ball after this.
We have a lot of guys going to go to winter ball. I think Luis Vasquez is going to go. I know Jared Walker is going to go. Omar Estevez is going to the fall league, and Yordi Cabrera may play. He just came off the DL, so he may play some winter ball too. So 5 or 6 guys, and you never know, somebody may get hurt, and they'll add some guys. But
sure. Will anybody be going up?
At this point, no. We may have some guys go to the Stay Hot. Luis Vasquez may go to Stay Hot in Arizona, just in case, an injury to a pitcher or something. But as of right now, nobody will go up. When you have Gavin Lux's up there and the Dustin Mays and the Tony Gonsolin, you really don't need a lot. And but a good year.
The guy we're most concerned about losing, though, is this guy.
Exactly.
Scott Hennessy, our manager, done an incredible job in the last 2.5 seasons here, taking us to the championship finals each year, winning it, of course, in 2018. And Scott, you can't say it'd be a bad thing. You're waiting for the Dodger call-up, but talk about your chance maybe to go to the big leagues.
I don't like talking about that. If the Dodgers want me in the big leagues, they're going to have me in the big leagues. If the Dodgers want me here in Tulsa, they'll have me here. If they want me in Oklahoma City, I'll do whatever they want. Sure, I'd like to go to the big leagues, and that's my goal. That should be everybody's goal as a player or as a coach or as a manager. But I've been with the Dodgers 14 years now, and whatever the Dodgers want me to do, I'll do.
Won the second half championship in the North Division, and I really appreciate the playoffs there, because Arkansas just had our number the regular season. You really got them in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, we thought we could do some matchup stuff against them. Well-managed, tremendous team. They had 4 guys. As soon as we beat them, went right to the big leagues. So I don't know if you guys knew that. And Kyle Lewis hit a home run in 3 straight games. So there's some things we thought we could exploit in the playoffs, and we did. They have a great club. I liked our club, and I liked our chances, and we got the job done. But it's kind of good. I think they beat us 23 out of 30 times in the first half or whatever it was, but we got them in the playoffs, and it was a good feeling.
Beat him 5-1 in the deciding game to win that series 3-2. Then go down to Amarillo, get beat in the first game, come back, and you put on a home run fest in the second game down there.
Yeah, we had some good at-bats. Scored, we had adjusted the lineup game 2 with Jeter Downs leading off, Connor Wong hitting in the 2-hole, and Jeter Downs hits the first pitch of the game out of the ballpark. Kind of set the tone a little bit after a loss, relaxed us a little bit. Scored 3 runs in the first inning, was feeling really good about where we were, and then I think we give up 8 in the bottom of the first, and we're like, oh my goodness. So I just said in the dugout, hey guys, 8 runs with this in this ballpark's not going to beat us. Guys battled back, had good ABs, and I think we hit 9 home runs, which was a driller record.
Wow, my gosh.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch.
It had to be, yeah.
How many of these players, and it's early, I'm sure, will return next year?
I think to start the year, Connor Wong, we'll just start with our catching situation. Connor Wong and Stevie Berman will both be back. How long Connor Wong is here, I don't know. He's a really good player, and he's gotten better. I think Christian Santana may be back to start the year. Don't think he'll be here long. Jeter Downs will definitely start the year here. He will not be here long. I mean, he's close to big league ready right now. And with a lot of clubs, he would be in the big leagues. Still growing as a person, as a hitter, as a player, needs to get a little stronger, but tremendous player, is going to be a good player for the Dodgers. Omar Estevez, just depends what we do with the big league level and the AAA level. He certainly could start here, probably should start in AAA, but who knows. Jared Walker will be back to start the year, one of our first basemen. Drew Avens will start back here, and for sure, Donovan Casey.
Hey, one of the things that a lot of people don't really realize is the amount of paperwork that you have to do to send to the big club. Could you go over that just a little bit? Your typical day when you come to the park to play.
Well, we're in constant communication with our farm director, assistant GMs, talking on the phone. The easy part for as a manager is when you step on the field, which is at 3 o'clock every day, because you're doing what you love. You're throwing the batting practice. You're getting the guys better. We're working on fundamentals and technique, game strategy. And then after the game is not the most fun part for a manager. And that's when you're writing a report. We write a report on if you played in that game or if you pitched in that game. We're telling, Andrew Friedman, Doc Roberts, our farm director, what they did, how they're progressing, if they're getting better, if they're staying stagnant. and that's time consuming, and I take pride in that. Maybe that's from scouting. I try to write a good report on every player every night that was in the game, but it is time consuming and not fun.
Yeah.
Here's Scott Hennessy, the manager of the Tulsa Drillers, who were runner-up in the Texas League Championship after winning the pennant in 2018. Scott, how do you balance this? I know from the Dodgers standpoint, the big league clubs, your job is to develop talent.
Yep.
But also, you win too. I heard it before that that's not the goal of Double-A baseball, is winning.
Well, I think it has to go hand in hand.
Great, yeah.
I mean, you can't just flip on a light switch when you get to Dodger Stadium if you don't know how to win.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not going to happen, in my opinion. And I think that's something that I have brought is we try to win every night. Sure, we're developing and we're working the guys out and getting them better fundamentally, but we are teaching these guys, or trying to, how to win every night, how to be a professional every night, how to play hard every night, because that's what's going to be expected when you get to Dodger Stadium. It's just the way the organization is. That's where we're at as the Los Angeles Dodgers, and it's World Series or bust for us just about every year.
Well, that mentality, though, really trickles down from the big club, right?
Yeah, it has to.
The expectation is there. And
the expectations, the amount of money that we're spending with the big league club, and Andrew Frieden, we're trying to put the best product on the field, and you got to teach these guys how to win. If not, you just can't do it at the big league level.
I think it's been great for Tulsa to have this partnership with the Dodgers. Of all the people we've had St. Louis and we've had Colorado, and Texas Rangers and everything. But this one, it seems like their consistency in placing players that can play at this level has been a lot better.
Yeah, and it starts with our scouting department, and I was on that side for a long time. Billy Gasparino and Josh Burns, our scouts, they're doing a great job. When you get Gavin Lux, you get Dustin May, and you get Tony Gonsolin, those guys can move up. Now you got Jeter Downs, you got Zach McKinstry, you got Connor Wong. We just keep the pipeline going.
In the final 30 seconds, how about the big club? Can they not only get to the World Series again, can they finally get over the hump and win the World Series, the Dodgers?
I think for sure, yeah. I mean, I think that's the goal and that's the expectation, and we have enough to get to the World Series, and I think with our offense this year, we're going to have enough to get us over the hump.
Scott, we got something for you here if you leave us.
Oh, yeah, before you take off, go by Bricktown on us.
I will. Thanks, guys.
You bet. Thank you, sir.
If we have time, I just want to say, the fans were great this year, and just keep coming out and supporting us. We have the best fans in the league.
And the best manager in baseball, we feel. Scott Hennessy done a great job. Congratulations again, Scott.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We're going to come back, and you got a union superintendent to talk about a new stadium, right?
Absolutely. Kirk Hartzler will be with us in a moment.
At Bricktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brew house? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bricktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bricktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
Man, look, for us, Cowboy football is way more than just Cowboy football. This is who we are. We come to Boone Pickens Stadium as many, but in this sea of orange, we stand as one. And we all know what it looks like. The crowd roaring, arms waving, and bullet flying. It's the paddles popping, the shotgun firing, and the fans rocking. It's our passion, our heart, our family, and our team. Because at Oklahoma State, it's who we are.
At Robertson Tire, we'll match any deal you find on tires, but customer service remains at the core of our business. That's why we've been voted the very best in all 3 major area publications. Thank you for choosing Robertson Tire for all your auto care needs.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sportscene. Today we have a real special guest, Dr. Kirk Hartzler, the Superintendent of Union Schools. And Kirk, welcome to Sportscene, and you have a big project ahead of you.
Well, we really do, Gil. I think as most people know by now, this is probably one of our bigger projects that we've had going in a while. And certainly anytime you get ready to drop a stadium or raise a stadium, the question is always asked, will it be ready in time for the season? And we've got about 19 months to not only drop the stadium, but also have it ready to go for the football season.
I find it fascinating that you not only have the doctor title, but there's a coach title in your background too, and you started this, right?
You know, Kurt and Susan came to us from Evangel College in Springfield, and he was on Bob Cleland's basketball staff at that time. And we were really, really fortunate to get Kurt and his wife. They did a great job for us. And I can remember being at the state tournament in 2012 or 2013, and I think you were just named going to be the designate superintendent. And I ran into Kathy Burden up in the hallway of the Mabee Center, and I said, "Boy, I sure am glad I hired Kurt Hartzler." She said, "Well, I'm glad I hired him back," because he'd gone to Bixby.
I did.
In the team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a history with this project, Coach. It's 43 years old, the Tuttle Stadium, hard to believe. And you built it in 1976 for, how much was it?
1.76.
And in 2020?
When it's all said and done, the whole project will be around $40 million.
Wow.
A little bit of difference. So inflation took
We
over.
have some great artist conceptions. Talk about, it's fantastic to look at. Talk about some of the features of the new Tuttle Stadium, Dr. Hartzler.
Well, I know, Chris, something you're going to be happy about, as so as will all of our sportscasters and everybody who covers our football program, is that the press box will certainly be nice, but it's going to have restroom in it, restrooms, as well as an elevator as well. But,
all right.
you know, more than anything, the question early on when we were proposing this bond issue was, why couldn't you just simply renovate it? And we could have done that. But after we got through with our feasibility study, the architects and the construction folks said, you know, you're going to really be better off just simply dropping it and starting over again. And so that's what we're doing.
The west side, right?
The west side, that's correct.
Yeah.
And the east side will stay, but it's going to have also a renovation done to it.
Right.
And it was just after the feasibility study came in, we just said, let's just go ahead and do this right, the Union way, much like it was done in 1976. That's been an amazing facility if you think about it. For 43 years,
Yeah.
It's served us well, but we've got some ADA issues that we definitely need to address. And not only that, we're building a structure that is going to, I think, serve all of our programs well, not only just football, but also wrestling, and a host of other activities as well.
And your fine arts as well.
Fine arts too,
Right.
yeah. That'll also be, that's no small project in itself, because once we get through reconstructing the west side of the stadium, we'll then start in right away of completing around a $10 million fine arts facility on the north side. So if you think about our stadium now, it's really going to be almost not so much bowled in, but it's going to be enclosed all the way around.
That'll be great. You know, I can remember after we had completed the stadium, Bob Sharp and Wesley Jarman were brother-in-laws. And Red Rogers calls me one day and said, "We'd like to come over and look at your press box," because Jinx did not have anything like that. And they had to tape measure. And they were measuring it this way and that way. And they made it 1 foot longer and 1 foot wider than the Union press box.
Is that right?
And now, you know, we see that now. We see that in the schools, where the arms race is there for facilities. You got to have the best for your kids.
Well, and truly, we like that, because, you know, a rising tide raises all ships. And so I think that is true. When that stadium was built, and you all had the vision and the courage, really, because, I mean, you took a lot of heat for building that stadium in 1976. I still hear about that today. People talked about, why in the world are they building such a magnificent facility in the middle of a cow pasture? And but I do think it's something that once, you know, we build that, I hope it's maybe the impetus for other schools to step up and say, you know, let's make sure that we have these amazing dynamic facilities for our students. And TPS has done that under Gil's leadership as well. They have renovated some amazing structures and also built new structures. And engagement is key in our business,
Right.
because when you have an engaged student, you're typically going to have an academically successful student.
Dr. Hartzler, you're going to be awful proud of the parents, people living in the Union District. They approved this 5-year, $126.8 million project, 80% approval.
Historic. This was a historic bond issue, and never before, to our knowledge, had we gone out to ask for what they call a series bond issue. I felt pretty confident, and I think our board did too, in this proposition. We had taken care of all of our academic needs in terms of, we were in the midst of building our newest elementary called Ochoa Elementary. So you've got to take care of those academic needs first. I mean,
Right.
you can't do something like this and still have you know, some academic areas or gaps out there. So we had done that, and more or less felt like this was a window of opportunity for us to propose this now.
So 2020 spectators just on the east side only, and get ready for 2021 in the opener, right?
That is correct. Yeah, the west side, again, will be completely demolished, so we'll be moving our home stands over to the east side and make it through one season where we actually have our bigger games. We've already scheduled this out. We'll have our bigger games being played away just for 1 year. Early on, the idea was thrown out that perhaps maybe we should just close the stadium in its entirety, and I said absolutely not. Our seniors deserve to play on their home turf, so that's what we're doing.
You have something for Dr. Hartzler for you.
I sure do.
Right?
Kurt, when you get a spare moment, which we don't have many of, we want you to go to Bricktown on us.
Well, hey, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thanks for all that you do and promoting athletics, and it is very much an important part of the educational process, and that's something that I hope that our viewers or your viewers never forget, and our communities never forget the importance of investing in our kids, not just in academics, but also in the classroom.
Dr. Kirk Hartzler, the superintendent of the schools for Union, talking about their new facilities coming up. We're all looking forward to that. We come back, we'll talk some fishing with a champion angler. Edwin Evers is going to be here. Stay with us.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting? That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Robertson Tire has been your local tire expert since 1962. Now at RobertsonTire.com, it's easier than ever to get a customized quote. And with our price match guarantee, you can be sure that you're getting the best price. For more information, visit RobertsonTire.com.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Whether it's a wedding, birthday, family reunion, or company event, give your next big event a unique country feel at our Red Barn Event Center located just north of Tulsa. We feature plenty of party room inside and out for up to 350 guests, a huge open floor space, and even a big stage. The Red Barn features a full kitchen and separate bride and groom dressing areas. Outside weddings are beautiful under our 100-year-old pecan tree. For your next big event, with a do-it-yourself wedding, the Red Barn Event Center is the perfect choice. Booking now for future events. Hey, it's time to go fishing. We have one of the best with us on Oklahoma Sportscene. Edwin Evers is joining us here. He's an outstanding fisherman, 11-time bass winner, and the 2016 Bassmaster Classic champion, Tulsa, Oklahoma's own. Good to have you with us here, my friend.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
I got to find out, Clint Gill was all excited to find out you were a football player too, right?
Absolutely,
Southeast Oklahoma State.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Talk about that part of your life.
I just got some great memories. I ended up going to Southeastern because I had Texoma next to it. I had a few opportunities to go to different places, and that one had a lake 12 miles from the campus. I checked it all out when I was there, so it was that's where I ended up and got great fond memories of that place.
Gosh. So you went into, how did you get into the fishing industry?
You know, my parents didn't grow up fishing. You know, I loved it, whatever it was, fishing ponds, you know, as a kid. And just fortunately I had parents that supported me and said, yeah, if you want to do it, they'd let me go do it, I guess. And it was a rocky road. I didn't have a house for a while. I lived in my truck for probably 6 months period. And
weren't married then, right?
Oh, no. No, I didn't get married till way longer in life. But I just was ate up with it. Always super competitive in everything I did, and I loved fishing.
Edwin Evers here, and from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Still live there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, again, let's talk about it. 2016 Bassmaster Class. That's the height of everything. 11 career bass tournaments, 68 career top 10 finishes, 15 Bassmaster Classics. And for those of you who think you're wasting a degree, which, by the way, is a double major, communications, marketing, and business, fishing. He's only made $3.1 million so far.
Well, every one of those relate to that.
I know it, see? That's right. Communication, business marketing, and fishing.
Yep.
So what's the highlight so far of your career? I have to think the Bassmaster Classic.
That Bassmaster Classic right here in Tulsa, you know, it was a special, special day because, you know, a lot of my family and friends, they don't get to travel. You know, we travel all over the country, New York to California, and, you know, they were all there, and the arena was packed that final day.
That was a BOK, right? Down the way in,
And to come in there and to have that monster bag the final day, that was really, really special.
So what's in the future?
Just more of it, you know. We started this Major League Fishing Trail. You know, this was the first year, the inaugural of the Bass Pro Tour, and it's a breath of fresh air because it's a new format. It's only 80 guys. It's a smaller field, and I'm on fire again for it. You know, I've been doing this a while and kind of got a little burnt out with just the way things were going, and with this new format, the new trail. I'm just so excited to go.
How do you get into that 80?
There's a qualifying process. You know, there was originally 80 guys that got invited, but now going forward, 10 people will fall out and 10 new ones will come in, and that announcement's coming out here in the next couple of weeks.
And I got to give my old buddy Jim Olbrin credit because he was head of Winter Communications, our company. Then we sold that company. He goes right into bass fishing with the series there. It's been incredibly successful. And I'm always amazed. He says, you guys it's pretty much blind. You don't know where you're fishing, right, though?
Oh, no. In the Major League Fishing Cups, you know, they have a boat official, and you get in that truck in the morning, and they drive you to a body of water. You don't know where you're going.
No scouting?
No scouting, no practice, no nothing. And I said, hey, boys, go right there. You try to figure it out and try to beat everybody else. So it's the purest form of competition there ever has been.
And Jim, of course, taking it to another level with television, including on CBS. But they're going to have some of their playoffs before the NFL playoffs, I understand.
We've got an hour slot right there on CBS right before some of the NFL playoffs.
How about that?
Gee, so when do you start up?
Our season always starts in February. We fish February all the way into October.
Biggest fish. Talk about those, some of your greatest memories.
Oh, I caught a 13-pounder out at the California Delta. It was just an amazing fish. I just remember it had a mouth on it like that. You know, I'd never caught one that big. And I caught another really big one time at Toledo Bend, same thing. But that's one thing, people that don't fish every day, when you catch one like that, those are game-changing, life-changing events that you'll never forget. I remember those fish just like the very first fish I ever caught on a little Snoopy rod as a kid. So,
well, I know, I can't let you go. A few tips for the anglers. What would you, just the basic angler there should like to add to his string and stuff, get that big one. What are your suggestions?
You know, I would suggest learn your electronics. You know, the 99% of people that want to go out there and go fishing, they're very visual. They want to fish what they see on the bank. You know, there may be a boat dock or a lay down, and that's where everybody else fishes too, but there's a whole nother world out under the water that you can't see. So learn your Lowrance electronics or whatever it may be. Get to know them. You know, just drop a bait over the side, see it on the screen, and then that'll tell you the size of the fish that relate to the bait that you just dropped over the side. And if you could just get familiar with your electronics, it'll open up a whole new world for you. And a lot of times a world of fish that are untapped, you know, especially here in Oklahoma. So many people just fish the banks. If you can get out off the bank, there's a whole nother group of fish out there.
Where's the best place to fish in Oklahoma?
Oh, wow. There's so many good ones. You know, that's one of the greatest things about our state. I saw on the news the other day that we have more man-made lakes in Oklahoma than any other state. I didn't know that.
Yeah, more shoreline than like Minnesota or the East Coast.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And you know, you go to like Michigan or Minnesota or Florida, they have more boat registrations, so they have that many more people than we have, you know, so it makes our fishing even that much better. But it's hard to beat Grand. It's hard to beat Texoma. You know, then you got those hidden gems of those small lakes like Uchi and Spavinal. But if you were to nail me down to one, I'd say Grand.
Grand Lake.
Yeah.
Keep catching the big ones, Edwin. Way to go. Edwin Evers, our pro fisherman, joining us on Oklahoma Sportscene.
When you're in town, go by Bricktown.
Oh, all right. That's one of our favorite places.
Awesome fish and chips, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Favorite places. Thank you very much.
Edwin Evers, our Bass Pro champion, back with our final wrap-up here at Remington Report and parting shots. Stay with us.
At Bricktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brew house? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bricktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bricktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
Hey, Mo, have you seen the MDX? I'm pretty sure it was in the showroom when I left yesterday.
No, sorry, Jen. I haven't seen it.
Are you positive you haven't seen it?
Hey, Mo, I went ahead and pulled the MDX back up on the showroom for. Oh, hey, Jen.
Haven't seen it, huh?
The Eshbach 6E Ranch on 800 acres north of Tulsa invites you to know the benefits of miniature Herefords. The 6E has always been committed to providing the finest quality meats. Our hormone-free beef is always on grass, then grain-fed the last 90 days to that perfect mix of marbling and taste. We will deliver the animal to a USDA-inspected facility. All you have to do is pick up your vacuum-packed processed meat. Fill your freezer with the finest quality beef at the best price. We also specialize in registered miniature Herefords for breeding and show. Call the 6E Ranch today.
Think you need to leave the city to have fun at a casino? Well, think faster. Because wherever you are in OKC, you can get to Remington Park fast. So you'll be here faster and winning faster on all the latest and greatest games. Don't miss the $400,000 Oklahoma Derby on Sunday, September 29th at 3 p.m. with our wine tasting festival at 2 and the hat and bow tie contest till 4 p.m. Get your heart racing fast in the heart of the city at Remington Park, the fastest action in town.
Taking Oklahoma City now, our Remington Race Report. Track announcer Dale Day.
Stakes racing returned to the schedule at Remington Park this weekend. The Oklahoma Stallion Stakes, 2 divisions, one for the females and one for the males, both 3-year-olds, headlined the program on September 13th. She's Shiny, winner of the Oklahoma Classics Lassie last year, was favored at heavy odds of 1-5 in the filly division, going 7 furlongs. Well back to Bewitchy, 44.92 seconds for the half mile. They're at the top of the stretch. She's Shiny inside. Lady Orchid goes out to the outside as Sandy Sangria backs away. Furlong to go, and Lady Orchid takes over. It's Lady Orchid up by a pair. No answer for She's Shiny. Sandy Sangria well back in third. Yards left. Lady Orchid and Aram Diego pulling away to take the filly division of the Oklahoma Stallion Stakes by 4. Lady Orchid pulls the slight upset at 3-1 odds and stays undefeated through 3 career starts for owner Lori Bravo of Sulphur, Oklahoma. Trained by Lori's husband Francisco, jockey Aram Diego had the mount on Lady Orchid. She's Shiny was second, while Game to Play was third. Lady Orchid is a daughter of the Oklahoma Stallion Oratory. The Colts and Geldings race for the Oklahoma Stallion Stakes was next. D-Toes was the even money favorite, trying to make amends for a poor first start of the year just a week ago. Path as they leave the turn, top of the stretch, D-Toes on top by a pair. Criminal outside at the rail, still fighting for third is Tavner. Then You're a Bad Guy and half hours to keep, fourth and fifth. D-Toes, a stakes winner as a 2-year-old last year, is pulling clear. A 16th to go, out by 6. D-Toes cruising home here in the Colts and Geldings division of the Oklahoma Stallion Stakes to win it by 7. D-Toes, winner of the Don McNeil Stakes at Remington as a 2-year-old, is owned by the Richter Family Trust and B.J. Richter of Perkins, Oklahoma. Trained by Danny Pish and ridden confidently by Lane Luzzy. Criminal held on for second while Euro West was third. D-Toes is a gelded son of the Oklahoma Stallion Cheetos. A couple of reminders as we near Oklahoma Derby week. The first Oklahoma Derby Charity Gala will take place on Thursday night, September 26th at 6 p.m. Tickets and tables are available at remingtonpark.com to benefit the Remington Park charity partners. Oklahoma Derby Day is on Sunday, September 29th, featuring a pair of Grade 3 races in the Derby and the $200,000 Remington Park Oaks. Always remember, admission and parking are free at Remington Park and the casino never closes. In Oklahoma City at Remington Park, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sportscene.
Don't forget, mark it down September 29th. That's Oklahoma Derby Day. Special post time on that Sunday at 3 o'clock. Time for our parting shots. Gil Cloud starts us off.
You know, we had Dr. Kirk Hartzler on today from the Union Public Schools to talk about a new renovation project in Union, at Union Tuttle Stadium. You look around the area and there's been a lot of building going on. And what sometimes people don't understand is that bond dollars and budget dollars are 2 different pots of money. And you can continue to build those kinds of facilities, but you can't use those for salaries because that's reoccurring. The salary is reoccurring and the bond is voted one time. And when that money's gone, it's gone. So I think you need to really look at what we're trying to do for kids in the Tulsa area. I challenge our colleagues in Oklahoma City to do the same.
What's going on in the National Football League? We've just gone through 2 weeks of games. We've already lost 2 All-Pro, destined to be Hall of Fame quarterbacks in just this second week. The New Orleans Saints were without their star quarterback, Drew Brees, for at least 6 weeks. He jammed his thumb, on-rushing lineman Aaron Donald from the Los Angeles Rams the other day, and he's going to have surgery on that thumb. He'll be out at least 6 weeks. And, of course, Drew Brees is now 40 years old. Pittsburgh Steelers lost Big Ben. Ben Roethlisberger will miss now the entire 2019 season with an elbow injury that was non-related to any contact. Just popped the elbow. It looks like a freak injury, but for a 37-year-old, that can really be significant. And he has only missed 1 week of play in his entire NFL career. Next man up for the Steelers, we're excited about this at least, it's their rookie quarterback from Oklahoma State University, Mason Rudolph. The Steelers love him, so he's a hard-working guy, really studies hard. They think he's got a great future. His future is now, though. Rudolph came in, went 12 for 19 against the Seahawks with 2 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter. Almost rallied him. They just lost 28-26. So now, well, is he Ben's successor? He is right now, so go Cowboys. Good luck for Mason Rudolph. All right, Coach, I tell you, it's been a busy week and a lot of football, and looking for more football this weekend. I got any final thoughts again about that OSU-Tulsa game?
Well, you know, I thought for a half it was a heck of a football game when the Hurricane came back and went ahead right before the half. But, you know, it is what it is, as they say.
Yeah.
Your depth that you have on your football team and the quality of talent that you have, sometimes it spells out in the third and fourth quarter. And I think that's what happened. I think finally they made some adjustments. OSU made some adjustments at halftime. And really, I think it was a hot Saturday afternoon. And I think TU ran out of gas.
High school football has been amazing so far, and some surprises so far in the early season.
Well, I tell you, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Nathan Hale and Tulsa Central being undefeated at this point in the season. I would also be remiss not to mention Savion Morrison going way over Spencer Tillman's individual record for Edison, over 4,000 yards in his career. And it has been, but there'll be some great games. The Union Jinx game was a great game. Owassa Broken Arrow was a great game. And so every Friday, it's time for upsets.
And join us next week on Oklahoma Sportscene. A lot more coming for you. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.